Hey, Aiders, welcome back to the podcast. It's Michaela, and I am joined back with Sabrina this week. We wanted to update you guys that Carissa is taking a step back from the podcast, so she will come on occasionally as a guest, but for the most part, you'll see me and Sabrina, or hear us, I guess, from here on out. Today, we are going to be talking about things that feel illegal. We got some submissions from you guys online, and then we've also come up with a few of our own to share and talk about. Before we get into that, we've been doing our Aider approved the past couple of weeks, but I think I want to change that. It's not hitting right.
Okay.
I still want to do it, but I would rather call it a weekly glimmer. Do you like that or no? Aider approved just sounded too, I don't know.
Official.
Yeah. So a weekly glimmer sounds more magical and just finding those little moments of magic in your week. And then
Okay.
I thought it would be cute, like if we get weekly glimmers from people, and then, it can be glittery backgrounds and like just glimmery thing. That's what I'm envisioning in my mind. So one of my glimmers was this morning. Jake had his first ever cup of coffee with me. I've been trying to get him to drink coffee for a very long time. And every time he drinks it, he's like, he just won't get acquired to the taste. So last night we had a date night and he was like, I'll drink a cup of coffee with you tomorrow morning. So
Oh,
he made
that's
coffee
nice.
this morning and we sat and drank coffee together, which was nice.
And did he like it?
Yeah. He was like, so if I go to a coffee shop, what do I order to get this? Which it was just one of my Nespresso pods with some sweet creamer in it. Probably like, I don't know how much he put in there, but probably a ton. And it's like, you'd probably like a latte with some sweet cream or something like that.
Yeah. Do you add milk to it as well with the Nespresso?
You can get pods that you add milk to or do like an espresso, but the ones that we used were a full cup of coffee. So I usually
Okay.
just add a couple splashes of creamer in it. And then Tess also let me curl her hair. She has really curly hair like Starly's, and she usually makes me brush it straight. But there was one night that I just like scrunched it all over her head and I made it really curly, and she
Cute.
left it, and I was happy about that.
Nice.
And other glimmer is Starly and Tess got on the same dance team. So there's mandatory dance lessons on July 30th and 31st. So you better get down here.
I know. Well, I gotta email them and see if they're okay with me missing a month, because I could come down for I think it'd be that week and then maybe the first 2 weeks of dance, or like week and a half of dance. And then I'd have to come back up because I won't be able to fly after that.
Have you thought about just leaving the girls down here?
I don't want Starly to start her year traumatized, and I think she would
If you
be.
weren't around?
Yeah. So I'd rather, if they're okay with it, I'd rather not start off on that foot.
What about school though? Is she going to start school down here?
Nope. Later. Like in Utah, she wouldn't even start until mid-August. Yeah, because she would, if we were to move right after the baby, then she'd be in school for 1 month total. So when I was talking to her preschool teacher, telling her about the situation, she's like, honestly, she'll be just fine. And the range of kids going into kindergarten, like some kids know how to read, some kids know a little, some kids are reading at a third grade level. And I still have all of her books. Like the preschool she went to really focuses on reading, and a lot of people will buy their reading curriculum and they send you home with all of the books so she has like 3 more sets that she could keep reading. So I'll just work on that with her and some other things. But yeah, I don't want her to start somewhere and then pick her up and move, and then I think she's going to have a lot of adjusting already, so I don't want her to make friends and then be like, never mind, because she's already just as confused as I am, because she'll be like, oh, well, I want to dance with Tessie in Arizona. I'm like, okay, great, that's so fun. She's like, but I want my birthday party in Utah so I can have friends. It's like, well, you'll make friends in Arizona. And so I think she's just like getting confused with the two places. So anyway, I'm just trying to make things as seamless as possible for her.
And you don't think it would be easier to just move down here, get her acclimated, have her start school on time where she can everybody's going to be meeting on the first day for the first time instead of her coming in later?
No, because then I wouldn't have time to pack my house. I'd be more stressed. I'd still have to find a midwife down there. and I don't want to deal with that. I would just rather
No,
be
like
here.
if you came down and then just went back up for like a week and you're like, Mom's going on vacation for a week.
Well, it'd have to be until the baby comes. So she'd be down there for a month by
Well,
herself.
just come down and stay down here and then drive back up.
Every single week?
No, like come down until right before Tyler has his, what's it called, rhinoplasty surgery.
No, well, technically it is, but it's the deviated septum.
Oh, deviated septum surgery.
Yeah.
Just come down until then and then go back up and then just go wait to have
Yeah,
the
but
baby.
I'd be more worried because the reason you're not supposed to fly is because of the risk of going into labor.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that 1 hour flight is a lot quicker than a 9 hour drive. Plus, I have weekly appointments that I have to go to. And there will be a lot of handoff at work because I'm leaving during our busy time at work. So it's great for me and not great for everyone else. But there's going to be a lot of work that I have to do to be able to prep everyone.
I feel like you're making this more complicated for yourself.
Well, the logistics of it just don't make sense. I think it's not very complicated if I just say, I will have to miss a month, or she will have to miss a month of dance. If you're okay with that, then we'll sign the contract. And if not, then we'll figure out something else.
Okay. So yeah, Glow Glimmer, they get to dance together next year. Made it on the same team.
Yep.
Any other glimmers you can think of from your week?
Most of my glimmers were opposite of glimmers, so I need to reframe my thoughts or something, but it's really hard when you're woken up one day by Sora peed in her closet and great, I have to get out of bed and go clean up pee. And then that day, so Sora's been getting into everything. She wants to, and it's just very mischievous. She will run out before I wake up and spray a bunch of cleaner on a table, which isn't a huge deal, but it ends up being more of a mess than actually cleaning. The other day, Braylon, our niece, came and swam with them while Brooks was mowing our lawn, and they showered after they went swimming, and then they turned on a show, and I was in a meeting, so I was like, great, they're taken care of. I come out and I'm like, where's Sora? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then she hurries and closes my bathroom cabinet. And I run in there and I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, nothing. I'm like, you put some stuff in your hair. She had cream, at least 3 different kinds of cream, all in her hair. And then she had sprayed hairspray on it. So it's slicked to her head. And she has hairspray all over for her forehead. I was like, it's okay, but you have to have mommy's help. You just washed your hair and now you need to wash it again. And she's like, no, I like it. I'm like, okay. So she had it in for 24 hours. I was like, oh my gosh. And within that same day is the day she went and put on my makeup while I was working. And so
But
again,
she did her mascara by herself, which was really impressive. I would say that's a glimmer.
That's true. My daughter knows how to do makeup really well.
Your 3-year-old.
Yeah, I don't want her doing it. But yeah. So she got into cleaner, her hair, makeup. That night we were putting lotion on our feet and talking to Tyler, FaceTiming. And so I'm sitting in my bed and Sora went into the bathroom and I'm like, what are you doing? And she had gotten a travel size baby soap and was putting it all over her legs. I'm like, why are you doing that right now? We just put lotion on and now you have to get in the bath to get all this soap off. Sorry, Mom. She's so sweet when she gets in trouble. And then that same night, we're laying down and she's like, I need some water. I'm like, run and get water because we're all sleeping in my bed right now. So Starly went to get water and then Sora went to get water. I'm assuming they're just out there getting water and coming back. But then Starly comes back and I'm like, where's Sora? And she's like, she was spraying more cleaner. I was like, why? And I go out and she's just drenching my cabinets in cleaner. I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot keep doing this. Oh, and then yesterday she peed again. So
in her closet?
It was in the bathroom. She waits till the last second. And so she's like, Mom, I really have to go. I'm like, run to the bathroom. I'm coming with you. I'll help you. But we were outside. So she got in first. She's like, I tried turning the light on and I couldn't get in. So then she peed on the floor. I'm like, just pee in the dark. Why? Why? So, and then this morning I got woken up to Mom, Beast threw up. It's so fun. I love this so much. I love being a mom.
A single mom, it would just be easier to move to Arizona.
It would be, because then she doesn't get into Grandy's stuff as much as my stuff. But eventually, I'm guessing, we'll see. I can't remember if I said this on the one update a couple weeks ago, but Tyler needed to take a test, and he finally was able to take the test this last week. And so he'll get the results from that test this upcoming week, I think.
For
and so
work?
that will, yeah, it's a weld test. So I think it determines if he will be welding on this next job or not, which I'm sure he will. He's great, and he's just hard on himself. So he's like super stressed about it, but I'm like, you're probably fine. But that was kind of the thing that he was like, I don't want to make a huge decision yet. So technically, Tyler could just be a pipe fitter, which is just another position on the job, but he definitely doesn't like it as much, and he could come back to Utah and weld on a different job. And so it would have kind of been him making the decision of, what do I want to do for work? So anyway, that's, I hope, the last step of figuring all this out. Because I'm like, I need to start packing and getting stuff prepped and figure out what we need versus what we'll keep at this house or take to Arizona or whatever.
You posted a really cool sunset pic. I don't even know if it was a sunset, but like the clouds behind your house. That's a weekly glimmer.
Yeah, that was a glimmer. That was the glimmer in between all of the fires. Utah is like on fire everywhere right now. So for the last week, it's been raining ash at my house, and it's been super gross. But we had 2 days of rainstorms, and so that picture was the result of one of the rainstorms. I think it was a mix of rain and the ash. We saw multiple rainbows, so that was pretty. And yeah, I guess Tyler's test was a glimmer this week, because we've been kind of like waiting and waiting and waiting, and we didn't know when it would happen. So yeah, that was good. And I think we're going to go get some cupcakes today, so that will be my glimmer this weekend.
Okay, so let's get into, I'm going to find the post that sparked this idea that I saw. Okay, so this was a post that I saw that sparked this whole idea.
Okay.
Of things that feel illegal but aren't. First one is going into a store and walking out without buying anything, especially when someone's there and they're like, "Hi, how are you today? Can I help you with anything?" And then you just like turn around and walk out, and you're like, "Okay, bye."
Never mind.
Drinking water from a mug.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel right.
It doesn't taste right.
Yeah.
Or even like drinking water out of a wine glass or something, like just wouldn't taste right.
A wine glass, if it has ice in it, I think I would be okay with.
I'm okay with a goblet.
Yeah.
But a full-on wine glass, unless it's a stemless one. If it was a stemless one, it would be fine. Taking your own snacks into the movies.
Isn't it kind of against the rules? Like, don't theaters have rules against that? So maybe it is illegal?
I don't think it's illegal, but we do this all the time. And Tessa's like, "Mom, you can't take those in there. They're going to get mad." She thinks we're going to get in trouble.
I took a full cheesecake last year on my birthday.
Nice.
Yeah.
Eating a free sample.
Sometimes. If you go back for seconds, that's where I'm like,
you're pushing it.
Yeah. Are you going to remember me from last time? Or just pretend it's for my kid?
Yeah. Everything when a police car is behind you.
Yeah. I'm checking. Am I going the right speed? Is my registration still not expired? Just run through everything I possibly could.
Yeah. What if I have a headlight out or a tail light out or something?
Yeah.
It's always so anxiety inducing anytime you see one behind you.
Right.
Which I don't know if it's the same in Utah, but in Arizona, there's like city police and then there's highway patrol. And I'll see city police on the freeway, but they don't usually pull you over on the highway.
Well, I don't think they have jurisdiction on the highway.
Right. But even though they don't have jurisdiction, it's still like, oh my gosh, a police. I'm doing everything wrong.
Yeah. Well, even if I see another city's police in my city, or let's say I'm driving through Orem and I see a West Jordan police, which they wouldn't have jurisdiction either, and so they're probably just driving home or like driving to an event or something. But I'm like, what if they know someone in the Orem Police Department and they call them on me, and so I still have to be so cautious of everything I'm doing? Yeah.
Okay. The next one is breakfast for dinner.
What?
Which I agree with. I think breakfast should be illegal, period.
No.
I hate breakfast.
That's crazy. I love breakfast for dinner. It's the easiest, especially when you're like, oops, I forgot to thaw meat, or I just don't want to think about it. It's like German pancakes, waffles, something.
Yeah. Jake loves it too. He could eat a breakfast sandwich for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but I
Yeah,
already have to deal with breakfast one time a day. I don't want to have to deal with it 2 times a day.
that's funny.
Taking home toiletries from a hotel,
It does feel a little sus, but I'm okay with it.
ordering food just before the kitchen closes.
Yeah, that one, I don't know that I could really even do it.
Yeah,
I just feel
I,
bad.
I would feel guilty for sure. Okay, so that was the list that sparked this topic. But
Mhm.
then I was thinking about things, and I'm sad Chris is actually not here for this one. But I was looking on Target, and you're looking for a pair of shoes and you look at the reviews, and I like to see it, when they have it on the model's feet, like how it's going to fit. But I hate on Target reviews or any reviews, actually. It could be Amazon or whatever. But they take a picture of like their foot in the shoe and they just have like nasty feet, overgrown toenails or whatever.
Ugh.
And it's just like the most unflattering shot of a shoe and a foot. And it's
Yeah.
like, these are great. And I'm like, this should be illegal to put your feet on the internet like this.
Yeah. You must have a pedicure before posting your feet on the internet.
Literally. And they like take it so close up of their
Yeah.
foot. I'm like, back up or stand in the mirror and take the picture.
Right.
I don't need to see an aerial view of your foot in
Right.
your shoe, especially with sandals.
Yeah, you're like, I can't even tell what it looks like.
Right.
Yeah.
Another thing that feels illegal, but it's not,
Yeah.
is throwing away your child's baby teeth because Tess just lost her first tooth. And
Mhm.
I guess, disclaimer, if you're listening with kids in the car, maybe pause and come back. But when the tooth fairy swapped out the money and I had the tooth, then I'm like, I'm just going to throw this away. This has been a part of her body for 6 years. This is my baby. And I'm just going to throw part of her away. Like that felt illegal.
Yeah. I get way too sentimental about things. Like that's how I feel about any picture that they draw or color or whatever. Some of the ones they color, I'm like, I can tell you didn't put thought into this, but when they're actually starting to draw and it's like, this came from your imagination and you like thought up this little family or you put together our family and the people that you love at this moment. So when Starly just lost her first tooth, I hurried and took a picture of it, like put it on my hand with the quarter, and then I hurried and threw it away because I was like, if I think about this too long, I am going to be the weird mom that keeps a sash of her kid's teeth.
Yeah. I think people do it with hair all the time, like baby's first haircut or whatever, which to me, I've never felt as sentimental about because it's hair. There's so much of it. It's constantly going through a cycle and coming back. But it was this baby tooth. Like I'm literally throwing away my baby, a part of her.
Yeah, like this came in at 6 months and is such a monumental time.
Yeah, I always thought it was weird if people saved their kids' teeth, but I get it. I'm just going to take this perfect piece of my child and just put it in this plastic trash can. That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I felt the same way.
It's wild.
Eh,
Another thing that I feel like should be illegal, but isn't, and this is something that I've had to navigate with the podcast and the brand because it's about motherhood. And obviously, with motherhood comes our kids, but it's like the Ruby Frankie the doll and just using your kids for likes. There are people I see on TikTok and it's like, oh, here's my kid, like my video. That's kind of how it comes across, which I feel like should be illegal. But then at the same time, with Ader, in the future, I could use Tess for like a photo shoot and I could pay her as an employee and start to build funds and a future for her by doing that because I can hire her, right? But anyways, I just feel like using your kids or exploiting your kids to get follows, likes, whatever
Yeah.
should be illegal
And
in
I
my
think there's
eyes.
a difference between some people who are actually exploiting their kids, like, oh, I'm going to share this thing that I probably haven't talked to you about, like with Ruby Frankie Paul. Ruby, wait, is that her last name? No,
Mm.
Taylor Frankie Paul.
Did I say Ruby Frankie Paul?
I don't
No,
know.
I think I said Ruby Frankie. Ruby Frank?
It's just Ruby Frankie, I think. Anyway, with her, she was really sharing deep things that her kids are going through. And she probably never, I mean, asking for consent from a child, I feel like is a weird thing because I don't feel like they fully even could consent to it. But there's a time and a place. Like if you did want to hire Tess down the road and she's like, yeah, I do want to be part of this photo shoot. Or it's just like there's certain people who put their kid on a pedestal and it's all about them. And I don't know. It feels different.
Yeah. Or even talking about things with our kids on the podcast. Is this an invasion of their privacy to share that Sora put cream in her hair? Like, is she not going to want people to know that one day? But then it's motherhood, right? That's the challenges of motherhood and the hard things that we deal with because it affects us. They're a factor in that. So I think it's such a tricky thing to balance. But that's why I've tried to make the brand and this like more about us as moms than using our kids to do that. So anyways, that was one that came to mind. Another one, if you listen to last week's episode, we were talking about how in partnerships, you can start to take on the emotions of your spouse and start to use that as a way to control things. Like, if I do this for him, then he'll be happy. He won't get mad. So then things will be more peaceful in the home, which is something I do with everybody. And my coworker's like, oh, you're an empath. And I'm like, am I? I don't know. I just take on people's emotions. For example, we went to see Toy Story this week. Abby had rented out a whole theater to go see Toy Story, invited a bunch of people. And we got there early so we could get a good seat because it wasn't assigned seats. But then people were coming in and came in late and they had to go sit in the front or we're trying to find seats together. And I'm taking on everybody's emotions of like, if I had to sit in the front, I would be unhappy. So I'm assuming they're unhappy. Maybe I'm just assuming it. But I just take on everybody's emotions like that. And I feel that should be illegal. And I don't know how to stop doing that.
Yeah, I do the same thing, especially with my family. I do it in situations like what you're talking about. Like, oh my gosh, that would really suck for them. And I feel bad. And should I do something to help alleviate the situation? And blah, 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 blah. But I feel like the more I just practice, that's not for me to carry, the easier it gets because sometimes I get sucked into it and I'm like, well, Starly's having a bad day. And so then I'm taking this on for her. And now I'm taking it on for my boss and I'm taking it on for all these other people. And now it's too much for me. I'm overburdened. So I have to let it all go or I'll freak out.
Jake and I were talking about it last night. And I know I'm guilty of doing it for him, but then I think he's also guilty of doing it for me, where we both do it to each other. And so what we talked about last night is you can be disappointed if I don't come cuddle with you in the moment. You're allowed to be disappointed, but I don't need to take that on. The same as I can be upset and grumpy and you don't have to take that on and get uncomfortable by it. So we were just talking about how we have some back and forth that we both need to work on, just like letting the other person be disappointed, be whatever, and not take that on and try to control it. Let's see. Did you have any that came to mind?
Yes, one thing obviously top of mind is working while you're pregnant, especially if you're sick in any capacity. For me personally, the newborn phase would be easier to work than the first trimester because not only am I tired, I physically feel sick and I have to lay down or I'm going to barf. Whereas with the newborn, I'm very tired, but I'm also in a stage where I can just put the baby on my chest and snuggle them while I'm sending some emails. The fact that women just go through that and the amount of videos I've seen of women just like crying and be like, I feel like I can't do this right now and I have to, I just have to show up for work. And it's like, what the crap? Which I understand be incredibly hard to be like, oh, you're pregnant, you get pre-maternity leave.
Just take the whole year.
Which we probably should have.
Yeah, we did have someone write in that too of working while you're pregnant. And I also feel working while you're on your period should be illegal.
I don't feel like my periods are that bad.
It's just the first 2 days where, or I would just say the first day for me, which I know everybody's different. And maybe for some people, they would need the whole week off. but just the first day, you just feel like shit and just bloated. I wear period underwear, so there's a lot coming out of me. It stinks. I don't want to be around people. I'm uncomfortable, and I would just like to have the day off.
I feel like there should be a floating day every month that you get to take off. Because for some people, it's not necessarily their menstrual phase. It's maybe their luteal phase where they're like, I'm depressed and I'm whatever. And so having the option of being like, today sucks. Yeah, I'm going to use today as my one day off.
Exactly. What else do you have on your list?
Being sick when you're a parent, that is just cruel and rude, and especially if you're having to handle work and schedules and different things on top of that. When I got sick before kids, I could just stay home and lay down. And now after kids, you don't get to rest ever at all.
Yeah. You have to still take care of everybody else, even though you feel like crap.
Right. And if you do want to rest, you have to arrange childcare or arrange pick up and drop off if your kids are in school. That's still not even resting.
Another one, when you go to Starbucks or something, and the tip screen comes up and you just hit skip or $0. That feels illegal.
Yeah. Like, I'm so sorry. I just paid $7 for my drink. I cannot afford anymore.
Yeah, I just paid $28 for this meal and I'm paying for you to cook it and for the food. So you're just going to hand it to me and not providing me any service. I feel like the whole tipping system in America should just be illegal as a whole.
Yeah.
And we should just pay people fair wages. But when you have to hit that skip button and they're just staring at you. And I appreciate the people that are like, oh, it'll come up on the screen, no pressure, or the ones that are so nice about it. And I'm like, well, okay, then I'm going to tip you $1 because you're being nice and not pressuring me to tip.
Right. Now I feel like I have to extra because you're aware of this.
Yeah. And you're being so nice to me and making me feel like I don't have to.
And there's one specifically that I'm thinking about, but certain places that do nails or pedicures, when you pay with a card, they make it feel illegal. Like, oh, you don't have cash? No, I'm sorry. I don't have any cash. I didn't plan on that. I'm sorry. I don't carry cash with me.
Right. Nobody has cash anymore. What about when you go into Costco and you're just going to the food court? So you like sneak through that.
And you don't even show your card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That feels illegal.
Have you ever walked into Sam's Club?
Yes.
Because they don't make you show your card. Or maybe they do, but they're not very strict about it or something. So you can just walk right in and I'm like, I don't think I'm allowed to be in here. I don't have a membership.
Yeah, we use someone else's membership. So, but it does feel illegal every time I walk in there. And at Sam's Club, they also have the scan and go. So you can literally, because all I ever buy from Sam's Club is their cupcakes because they're my favorite. And you can just scan the barcode on the app on your phone and pay on the app.
Right.
And then you can just walk out. So that also feels illegal because you're just like bypassing checkout.
Yeah.
You're like, I paid, I swear. Here's my receipt. They do have someone there checking to make sure, but yeah. So some of the submissions we got, one was having to pay for parking at a hotel that you're paying to stay at.
Yeah. That is the most annoying. Like, why? Just add it to the room fee because that is the cost of staying there. I mean, some people don't have to park, so I get that, but it's just so annoying.
There's always the resort fees and all those hidden fees that always get added on afterwards, which I think they were actually trying to pass a law that stopped companies from doing that. Like they had to show all that up front. But yeah, parking. And they always act like it's such a big deal when you're like, can I just get free parking? And they're like, well, we can't do whatever. And it's like, it doesn't cost you any money for me to put my car here. Can I please
just a piece of land that you already own.
That's always the worst, especially going to Disneyland. If you factor in the hotel, the tickets, all that, it's going to be this much money. And it's $75 a day to park my car on property.
And you don't have any other options.
Unless you fly, which then flying and then an Uber to the hotel, and then an Uber back.
See, this is why I never book any trips because I get overburdened with all of these decisions because in my brain, I'm like, okay, let me calculate how much it is to park my car there, the gas to get there, like, what's that cost? Okay, and now if we were to fly, plus we would need to get an Uber, plus we need this and that, and which one is the best option? And most of the times it's sixes, so it doesn't actually matter. But then I've overwhelmed myself with decisions and possibilities that I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do?
Yeah.
And then I just never book anything.
I just don't
Yeah,
have money, so I never book anything.
that too. Yeah,
Don't
that's
actually
been
have money to
lacking.
spend on it. Okay. Someone wrote in, said turning the lights on in the car while your parents are driving.
If mom didn't make us feel like it was illegal, gosh.
I remember being told that as a kid, and I didn't realize until probably a couple years ago, oh, that's not actually illegal. They were just saying that
Yeah,
to get us to not do it.
yeah. And same with having like papers on the dash because it creates the glare or reflection, so it's harder to see out of the windshield. Mom would always be like, "Get that off of there." I'm like, "I'm so sorry."
I don't remember that. What did you try to put on the dashboard?
Just like the papers, like if I had school papers or if we had a receipt or whatever. I don't know, random crap.
Jake does not like driving with lights on in the car, whereas I feel like it doesn't bother me or impair my driving.
Unless it's the ones right behind me, but there's a couple lights that are on the sides of the car, and luckily my car will just turn them off if we're, like, out of the car for a while so it doesn't kill the battery,
Mhm.
but it will be on for days, and I'm like, "I had no no idea. Can you guys turn that off for me?"
But isn't like that the whole point of the lights in the car so that you can see at
Yeah,
night?
probably.
So it's like, why would they put lights in a car if you're not supposed to have them on at night? Because you're not going to use them during the day. And that just
Right.
never clicked in my brain until like, I'm like, this probably actually isn't illegal. They just told me it was.
Speaking of Disneyland, though, I was gonna say this. Have you seen the new faces on the animatronics in Pirates?
Oh, I started seeing a video about it this morning, but I didn't watch it.
I don't know if it's a projection or if it's a screen of the face so that they actually move and talk, but everyone is like, "I hate this. Why did they change it? This is terrible."
That's how they do it on the Frozen ride.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think there's a couple,
Oh,
or at least, like, certain places where they do use that, but I'm like, "Don't change it. It was fine before, and it's nostalgic, and, like, who complained about it? No one."
yeah. Interesting. So on Pirates, it's the one where it's literally a skeleton. So it's not an animatronic, it was a skeleton before, just like a standstill skeleton. And now they made it into an animatronic where his face turns into a skull because he picks up one of the pieces of eight.
If you're gonna change anything, just bring in real life actors, and you don't have to keep updating your other technology.
I did hate when they changed at Pirates because it used to be buy a bride, and then they changed it to the option to be more politically correct,
Yeah,
which is fine.
but it wasn't back then. Like, when this was happening, it would have been Buy a Bride.
Right. What I am mad about them changing and should be illegal is that they're taking out Monsters Inc. and making Avatar. Yeah, I hate Avatar.
Well, if it's like the Disney World one, I'm okay with that.
It's cool, but California Adventure already has so few kids' rides, and they're taking out Monsters Inc., which is one of the best ones. Okay, so another one that was submitted, having to get a doctor's appointment to get medication that you've been on for years refilled.
I have a coworker whose husband was in a really bad car accident, and she's always complaining to me about the medical system because she's also from a different country. And so she's like, I don't know that it's necessarily any better because her country was maybe more third world, maybe not fully third world, second world. Is that a thing?
Slightly more impoverished.
Yeah. So he had to get drug tested to get on a medication, but the medication he's already on makes him fail a drug test. So it's like, you guys are the ones that prescribed this to me, and now I can't get this other medication because of my medication. It doesn't make any sense. So she's just always complaining about it.
And he has to do that consistently.
Yeah, well, so it was like 10 years ago, but he's had really bad back issues since then. Like, he's had to have multiple surgeries. He's tried stem cells. He's tried a bunch of different things. And so I think they've just been trying different avenues to manage his pain over the course of the last 10 plus years.
Yeah.
So I can imagine how annoying it would be. You're like, I need this medication. Can you just prescribe
I mean,
it?
I'm new to taking medication since getting diagnosed with ADHD, but to me, it makes sense of go check in with your psychiatrist every couple of months to make sure you're not abusing it.
But the people who want to abuse it are going to abuse it either way.
It's true.
I don't know that it's necessarily stopping that from happening, because I know so many people who don't actually need Adderall or whatever, but they still get it.
And if you
Yeah.
didn't want to go in, then it would be frustrating. My psychiatrist is literally like 2 minutes from my house, so it's really easy. Someone said not returning your grocery cart and parking outside of the parking lines, which just happened to me yesterday. Louis got his teeth cleaned at the vet, so I had to go pick him up, and the car, there was 2 spots, and the one car was literally like right on the line, so then I had to park slightly over the line, which made that middle spot really tight where no one could really get in. But they parked so terribly that then I had to park terribly, and then by the time I left, they were gone, so then I looked like the idiot that parked terribly, and I'm like, "This was not my fault. They were parked bad first."
There was someone here before.
But I guess I feel like it's illegal if I leave my cart in the middle of a parking lot, like your grocery cart. I feel like I'm doing something wrong if I don't walk it back.
You are, if you don't. Every time I walk past one that's not in a thing, I'm just like, really? I'm a mom with 2 kids and you couldn't put yours back? Come on. There's certain situations where I've heard of people getting followed in parking lots, and so maybe you're just feeling like, well, if I leave my kids in the car, I won't be able to put the cart back, or I feel worried for their safety or something. So sure, there could be one-offs, but majority of the time I feel like it's just a single person who's lazy and is like, I'll just leave it right here.
Especially when someone leaves it like in a parking spot and then you have to get out of your car and move it to park there, or they like put it behind your car or just somewhere inconvenient that you then have to get out of your car and move it. That would be really funny if they had security people to just like be like, put your cart back, like a lifeguard. They just blow their whistle. Put your cart back. No leaving your cart there. Okay, last submission was having a baby without passing a cognitive test of some kind, which I feel like leaving the hospital with my child was illegal. And I'm pretty with it for the most part, but I still felt like you just trust me to take this thing home and keep it alive. Are you sure?
Right.
Are you positive?
There was a class in college, some sort of ethics class, where we would read op-eds and then kind of discuss the ethics of it in the class. And one of them was like, should parents be required to get some sort of test before getting pregnant? But then there's, okay, well, how would you manage that? Do you tie the tubes or snip the men when they're kids so that they can't have kids until they pass that test?
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, how many kids get abused or neglected or whatever, and that would have been prevented if this were in place. And it was very interesting, the debates that happened for both sides. So I get it, but how you would actually enforce it is interesting.
Yeah, a lot of control in place. I think, yeah, if we could just do a better job at educating people and providing information up front, because I think for us growing up, I mean, I still have never talked to mom about sex to this day.
You weren't at the dinner table with dad?
I said with mom. Dad did bring it up one time that I remember. Like, she still doesn't know that I've had sex.
I think she maybe got there when you had Tessany or when you got pregnant.
She has no idea that I do that. So. Just kidding. We've talked about it a little bit recently, but we just don't talk about it as a society. A, because of religion. B, it's not taught in our school systems. So I think it's illegal that, or it should be illegal that we don't do a better job of educating people on the basics of human life and anatomy. And I don't know if I've shared this before, but the first time I ever got my period, I was like, I don't know what's happening. And I remembered we had the maturation day in 5th grade, and I remembered we got like a little goodie bag and there was a pad in there. And so I was like, okay, I think I'm supposed to put this on. And I wore that for the whole week. I didn't know I was supposed to change it. I didn't know what was happening. I thought there was something wrong with me that it was happening. We got one afternoon in 5th grade to explain that. Like a whole new concept that you've never heard before.
Because the boys do theirs in 6th grade, I feel like when it happened, it was silly. Like, oh, haha, you guys have to do that. But it's like, no, this is stuff that's actually going to happen to you. And mine actually started in 5th grade, right after the maturation program. But it was enough that I didn't need a pad. I think it happened 2 times and it was maybe 1 month and then 2 months later or something like that. But mom had to be like, hey, did you start your period? And I was like, I think so. I don't know. I was so embarrassed about it. And then I felt even more embarrassed because I was the first one that I knew of.
Maybe we started our periods around the same time then, because I think mine was in 7th grade.
Then probably.
And maybe mom was just more focused on you because she never said anything to me. And I never said anything because I was so embarrassed. I was like, I don't know what's happening.
Well, she only knew because she did my laundry still.
Which by 7th grade, I was doing it by myself. Because in our house, once you turned 12, you did your own laundry.
Yeah, which I'm about ready to get my 5-year-old to do her own laundry. So Starly actually has done it before. She took her laundry basket, brought it downstairs, which I'm like, how did you not fall or drop it? Because it's pretty heavy. And she had loaded it in and she put some sort of powder in, which we do baking soda and vinegar. And then I have another laundry detergent that I add to it as well. She had put the baking soda in, but she was like, Mom, I put it in. And I was like, what do you mean? What did you put in? I haven't actually showed you how to do this, so show me exactly what's going on here.
We can barely get Tess to clean her room.
Oh, their room's a disaster. They cannot even get their clothes into the hamper. I'm like, sorry, your dirty clothes, it's right next to the hamper. Put it in the hamper. And she'll like move it from one spot to the other. I'm like, no, in the hamper. Like, why can you not lift it up and put it in there? It's dirty, put it not on the floor, and is pulling teeth with them.
Yeah, yesterday Jake asked Tess to clean her room and he's like, okay, clean your room and I'll come help you in a minute. And he like went to the bathroom and was busy. So then she's like, Dad, come help me. And she comes in all pissed. She's like, I finished cleaning it by myself and Dad didn't even come. I'm like, good job. You did it all by yourself. Like she's never done that before because she drags it out and doesn't want to do it. So then she comes in so mad. Dad did it. Come help me clean my room. And now I'm finished. I'm like, okay, good job. You did it.
Yeah. And now you don't have to do it anymore. We're done.
Exactly. But anyways, taking that back, I try to talk to Tess. Oh, I'm on my period. Oh, this is what we have to do. Or like she knows my underwear that I wear when I'm on my period, or just having more openness around that, since we are probably the ones that are going to have to teach them all the things. There's some that will be taught in school, but you have to have more than one conversation about it. That was the only conversation I had around it, was in 5th grade, and we're all giggling and silly and like, ooh, women's bodies, and like it's so funny. So you're not paying attention to the seriousness of it. And then when it happened 2 years later and all I had was that one conversation about it, how am I supposed to remember that? Also, I was 10 during the maturation program. That's the year Dad passed away, layered with the most traumatic year of my life, taking in that information and then supposed to remember it 2 years later.
Right. Yeah. Luckily, my girls never leave my side, so they've seen me change plenty of, I wear a disc, so they're always like, what's that? Why are you putting that in your butt? Why are you blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, this is where it goes. This is what's happening. But they've seen me do that how many times, and they'll still be like, wait, why? Like, what's happening? Like,
right, it doesn't make
why
sense.
Are you bleeding? Yeah. And it's like, oh, this happens every single month. And now with pregnancy, Starly's thinking about everything else. Like, oh, where does the baby come out? And, oh, you're going to poop him out. No, I'm not going to poop him out. But sometimes you do poop when you're pushing a baby out. And she's like, you're going to poop when you're having a baby? I'm like, I'm nervous about that too, girl.
Yep, that happens.
That's just the way it goes.
I feel like as women, we are still learning our bodies. As a 32-year-old woman, I am still learning my body when it ovulates, how my hormones affect me at different phases of my period. And it's been 20 years since I've had my period, and I'm still learning that.
Well, I remember in health class, they had the not the menstrual cycle, like the full cycle of a female. And we had talked about it, but it was like, how does that apply to me? Like, why do I need to know this? My period comes and okay, great. And I might have PMS before. Okay, got it. But it's like so much more than that, especially now that I'm older. Now I'm starting to understand. I almost needed a class when I was an adult.
Yeah, adult health classes.
Right, where it's like, "Oh, I'm experiencing this because of a progesterone drop," or you might feel angry during this phase of your pregnancy, and here's some different symptoms or things that might happen, and actually, if you have it super bad, then maybe it's PMDD or, I don't know, there's multiple different things that people have, and it's just like, growing up, I was like, "Cool, I just need to know when I'm gonna bleed." That's the extent of it.
Right. Well, and then when you like hit perimenopause, there's going to be, different symptoms. And then when you hit actual menopause, then there's different things. I have some friends who are a little bit older than me, and they have a group chat that I'm in because we all went on a girls' trip together, but they're all like 10 plus years older than me. But they said something the other day. They said, or it was like a meme. It said, every woman over 40 is basically running an independent clinical trial on herself at this point.
Mm.
Like everyone's just trying to figure out how to deal with perimenopause or menopause. There's really no answers or one thing that works best for everybody. I don't know. Or it's just people are talking about it more and it's like, oh, I don't have to actually always feel like crap, or it's normal that I feel this way. I'm not broken. I'm supposed to feel this way. There's this girl I follow. Her name's Sadie Jane, Simply Sadie Jane, I think is her Instagram. But she was a labor and delivery nurse. So before I got pregnant, I had bought her pregnancy course, which I thought was super helpful because it was like, okay, first trimester, here's what to expect. You're going to feel nauseous. Make sure you're eating. Here's what to expect at your appointment. Like it was just super helpful because that was the first time I had any real knowledge about what to expect during pregnancy. But I still feel like even that did not prepare me. It says in there, morning sickness is the worst, like a cajillion times. And I'm reading it like, oh, can't wait to be morning sick and be pregnant. And then I experience it. I'm like, this is the actual worst. I hate this so much. So I think you can prepare to a certain extent, but then there's some things you just experience yourself and then there's some people that it doesn't affect them at all. So
Yeah, and we hate those people. Just
I
kidding.
hate them so much.
We're so happy that they don't have to deal with that.
Well, maybe we should start a course. There can be a course for 12-year-olds or when they're about to get their period. No, there can be one for babies, and it's learning about body parts. And then it's going through puberty. And then it's, oh, you're going to start having sex. Here's everything you need to know about your body. And then it's, here's what to expect if you're trying to get pregnant. And then here's menopause, all that. We could do a course or books.
Perfect. I like it.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for writing in, everybody, and sharing things that feel like they should be illegal. If you enjoyed today's episode, share it with a fellow aider. We're trying to grow our little community here. We would appreciate if you left us a review and a rating. This is going to help other people find the podcast. And whether you are folding laundry today, running kids around, or taking it easy, we hope you have a great day, and we'll see you later, Raiders.
Later, Raiders.
Next week, we are going to be recording parenting hot takes. So if you have a parenting hot take, be sure to send us a DM on the Aiders Podcast Instagram. We'll put a question box up in our stories where you could submit, or you can just DM us directly, and we'll be sure to share your submission on next week's episode.